Hello everyone, Aeon of Dreams here, coming at you with a new video that follows a different interpretation than the last one. You see, in the last video I talked about evocation, or rather I touched upon it, and here I'm going to talk about more invocation. And despite what you may think, the invocation of demons is a very possible thing. And what this is going to be talking about is, what if Discord is a demon invoked, not a demon evoked? Now granted, Keep Calm Fluttershy fucked up its moral. That was emotional abuse, not friendship. And it would come off as evocation in that case, because you're torturing something to keep it in line. This would be following the interpretation that either the entire time, or at least now, he's unbound. It's invocation. There's a genuine friendship there. If this is the case, then that would mean that Fluttershy may be a demonolator. So what is demonolatry? Well, I'm going to oversimplify it as essentially demon Wicca, just without the nature stuff. Instead of the god and the goddess being the culminated force of all gods and goddesses respectively, you just have Satan, who is the culmination of all demons. Now, most of you with certain backgrounds and moralities might think, but why would you want to worship a demon? Aren't they evil? And I would say that again, morality has plagued the discussion. A demon, if you must attribute morality to it, is actually morally gray by most interpretations. They're not actually bound by particular morality per se. If you must attribute, say, malevolence with evil, then we have a different name for that kind of entity. That's called a devil. Now, it should also be noted that demonolators define demons differently. Same thing with some magicians. For instance, S. Connolly, which is where I get the information about demonolatry from her books, defines a demon by the original Greek meaning of the word demon, which is simply a divine being replete with wisdom. Gods that were demonized or once forgotten about, but not quite evil. And Michael Secchitelli, if I'm pronouncing that right, also had this to say about demons. A demon is simply a god whose crime was not being the Christian god. Another important thing about demonolatry is this: they never practice evocation. They view it as disrespectful, and they would rather befriend demons in a rather open, more free environment than to use evocation, which involves binding, torture, and stuff that they consider unsavory, or at least that's how they look at it. But the history of demonolatry is also an interesting subject. It is believed to have started, in some cases, with the Knights Templar, though that's very controversial because of the controversy surrounding it. According to demonolatrists, the Knights Templar were the first demonolators worshipping the demon Baphomet. But other interpretations say that they were initiated into a secret society, and part of their initiation was actually being taught and possibly tortured by Baphomet. So, interpretations vary, or it could have just been a church conspiracy theory. After all, France and the Catholic Church had a deep hatred for the Knights Templar, so anything goes. Since then, or maybe just out of the blue, demonolatry was preserved in family hierarchies who practiced the craft in secret. So if we go with the assumption that Discord is very much a demon of Equestria, or at least is held in a similar regard to one, or even used to be, Fluttershy would be a demonolator in this case because she seems to have genuinely befriended him by the time of the series now. I would not have said this in Keep Calm Fluttershy because that came off as emotional abuse, and that sort of control would be evocation rather bluntly, and a demonolator would see that as highly disrespectful. Something that would probably help, even though this is not an element of the series and more just an element of demon and angel-based religions, or actually just magic religions in general, is the idea of compatible elements. Compatible elements is quite simple. What it is everyone has one of the 4 classical elements as their element. This is determined by your zodiac sign. There's also an entity that accompanies it. For instance, I am a Leo. My element is fire. In demonolatry, my demon's name is Flarios. In angel practices, my angel is Michael, which means that if I was ever to do any spellcasting with either demons or angels, I could never go wrong with Flarios or Michael because we're quite compatible. In this case, it would be interesting to hypothesize as to what Fluttershy and Discord's elements are and if they are in fact compatible. Even though, just because you have the opposite element, it doesn't mean that you're going to have a heated or hated relationship with that entity, just that you're less likely to be as compatible. But there's no guarantees. Anyway, this has been the Aeon of Dreams. I hope you enjoyed this, and have a nice day.